Good evening and welcome to
OWTF
Evening News. My name is Skipper Biscuits and this
is Jennifer Jetson.
and we're here with your 9 o'clock news update. Tonight's top story is regarding 3 residents who will be leaving the area shortly, and we'll be discussing how they've affected local Tulsans and how their departure will also affect us for better and worse.
We're also going to be getting some great field interviews with strangers and also family and friends. But first, to Wacky Bruce with the weather.
Good evening, I'm Dr. Rory Borealis, and real quick before we get into the weather, I wanted to do a quick explainer for everybody back at home that's watching to really understand what it is that's going on with these gas holes. And I guess where I wanted to start was how they originated. So basically there are these just super dense, thick, just pools of gas that are just constantly just shooting forth, and there's like little specks of crap that kind of come out that from all the wind that's occurring. Anyway, the main point is, one of them we know originated on the eastern seaboard, somewhere in roundabouts West Virginia area, and it kind of like looped over towards Midwest. It's heading back that way. The other two that are seeming to be partnering up with it, we're not really sure where they originated. They just kind of were there after a while, and for the longest time we didn't even understand that they were two separate entities, but then we realized that they were just too massive to be one single. So we realized there was almost like this twin gas hole that was kind of coming forth with the much older eastern bound gas hole. So anyway, the important thing is that they are it's not toxic gas technically. If you breathe it long enough, it will cut out your own oxygen, and it is possible to suffocate. There have not actually been any records of suffocation occurring from the gas holes. However, there has been a lot of mental distress and emotional distress from being just anywhere around them, to be honest. So my caution to everybody is just do what you can to stay inside, stay indoors for the time being, and then hopefully here at the beginning of March, things will be looking up. So that was just a brief wrap up of what's going on with the gas holes. Back to you. Thank you very much, Aurora Borealis. And you know what's going on here tonight is it's a lot of cold air mixed with those giant gas holes that are still on their way out, but they're leaving so fast and they have such a mass that it's creating this like vacuum effect, and it really sucks, you know. And I'm saying that in a meteorological way, of course. You know, I know the kids say that these days, but what I'm saying is that it's creating this like open vacuum that's just getting, you know, the crap from all these other states around us, and it's just kind of mixing it all up, and it's like creating these like little spin winds. I don't know what you call them, but you know, it's really difficult to be alive now. So the good part is the fact that it's going away. So we don't have to worry about it for much longer. It's kind of just moving off to the part of the map that we don't even really have graphics for, because honestly, it's not our problem anymore. So we're looking pretty good here. We're still in the yellow, but you know, things are looking up for the next week. So unfortunately, this week probably don't make that tea time happen, but look forward to March the second week of. All right, and back to you guys. Burlington Star Factories.
It's grown like 3 times its size in the last 5 days, and should I go to the doctor? I'm pretty sure I heard it growl last night, and I'm just, crap. Sorry.
Thank you, Wacky Bruce, for that weather update. I'm sure we're all going to be looking forward to that blizzard.
Yeah, I am. And anyway, so the big question on everyone's minds, of course, they're moving. Who cares? Like, who cares? Why do they care? Should we care? Is this an we're all of this together situation, or are there two sides on this? For this next segment, we're going to compare Oklahoma and Pennsylvania. So, on the Oklahoma side, we have really unbearably hot summers and sometimes tolerable weather otherwise. So that's nice. In Pennsylvania, we have more regulated seasons where the heat doesn't make you want to die And the cold is enjoyable and picturesque. So that's nice. Back to Oklahoma, another winter. We have some interesting history. Some find it more interesting than others, but it is generally limited to certain regions and peoples, and isn't very well covered in the school system, so nobody really knows about it unless you happen to be raised by someone who particularly cares. Pennsylvania. Literally the history of the country and the living and dying place of many of the founding fathers, many interesting and important historical facts. Basically, a history person's dream. All right, back to Oklahoma. So we have people who don't know how to drive when any kind of inclement weather is happening. And also bad roads in general. On the sunniest day, we're basically falling into potholes left and right. Pennsylvania. I've never been there, but I find it hard to believe it could be any worse. So let's see, we've got 3 against 3, how we're stacking up. Yeah, it seems like there's a clear winner here, but there's one more point that we have not considered. Oklahoma has tenacious. Pennsylvania, oh, that's gonna hurt its chances. Yep, guys, I think it's pretty unanimous in agreement that Oklahoma is superior. All facts considered, I don't think there's any question. So, some interesting decisions being made in light of the facts. Back to the studio.
Hello, my fellow Pennsylvanians. You remember me from my campaign work from the past few months, and I want you to vote for me for the governor of our fine state, Pennsylvania, the Keystone State. But honestly, please vote for me. My name is Penn S. Ylvania, and I approve this message.
Welcome back to OWTF. Once again, I am Fuchsia Jenkins.
And I am Todd Jesper.
Thank you, Todd. And thank you to our good friends at Cheez-It for those words of advertisement.
I just love Cheez-Its.
I mean, I did an experiment in my high school chemistry class where we had to burn different snack foods for their caloric content to see how long the flame would keep going. And I'll tell you, those Cheez-Its just go on till morning.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you tired of all your friends disappearing? Is your only friend a dog? Are you tired of friends calling you and then giving some lame excuse as to why they can't make it? Are you all alone? Well, you don't have to be. Introducing Friend Insurance. Friend Insurance is what you're needing. With Friend Insurance, you don't ever have to worry. You just give us a call, and within 30 minutes, you'll have a ring at your door, and the next thing you know, your new best friend is walking into your life. Friend Insurance. You can chat for hours and hours and never hang up or make new plans. Try Friend Insurance today.
Maybe just reflect on some of the positive memories. There's plenty of negative to dwell on later, but at this point, let's try and pinpoint some positives. Jacob Jackson. Right, sorry. Looking to my producers for a note there. Sorry, folks. But one of the first times I remember encountering him at the local Kingdom Hall, he called me Victoria for, I think, a good, probably a solid couple of months. I'm a bit of a wallflower, so there wasn't that much interaction. You have to give him that. But, that was a pretty good start. I think that probably delayed our friendship by, at least a good 6 months. So
I cannot believe that he would do that to you, Judy. Why? Where would he even get a name like Victoria? I don't understand it. You know, maybe where is he from?
Colorado?
You know, maybe in Colorado, they just do things differently there.
No, wait, it was West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Yeah.
That sounds
I'm always
familiar.
getting the two.
Maybe it's because of the V's. Maybe
Yeah.
he just had Victoria on
Yeah.
mind.
And you know, I just laugh endlessly every time I remember the time. Do you remember? Because we all went together, and you were there too, Dylan. He's behind the camera, but he's cracking up. I'm telling you, folks. Oh my goodness.
On the floor.
On the floor. Get up.
Get up, Dylan.
Get up. What an idiot. I mean, come on.
You're telling me I'm married to the guy.
I love you, but sometimes I wonder about your decision-making skills. Anyway,
have no
sorry, little breach of professionalism there, guys. Sorry. But that's why you tune in, I guess, right? We're just the two funkiest news ladies in town. But back to my story. So, do you remember the time we all went bungee jumping?
Of course.
Yeah, how could you forget?
In Arizona.
Yeah, and I mean, terrible. It ended in death, to tell you the truth, but I mean, we survived.
Yeah.
I guess the important ones survived. No offense to, Johnny's family, but I remember as we were falling and the rope snapped and Chandler was right there. He could have saved Johnny, but it's almost like from a novel. You have to make that decision of, do you save, your lunch, or do you save the man next to you? And I mean, I don't blame him. That sandwich looked delicious, but I wonder if that haunts him. You just have to wonder. I'm sorry, I can be a bit of a rain cloud, I know. Just lighten it up, Cherry. Give us something good to think about.
Sally, I do remember that, and that was just a really tragic accident.
Yeah,
but I will say something that's just been on my mind and that really has bothered me since.
Share.
And I haven't told anyone yet, and I figure now is the perfect time.
Right.
As we were strapping in to go bungee jumping,
Yep, the fateful drop, as I like to refer to it.
there was a moment whenever I looked over at Chandler. I think
Charlotte? Chandler. No, you're right. I don't know where that came from. Never mind. Sorry.
at Chandler.
Yeah.
And it seems like he was looking at his bungee rope. And I thought that it was odd that he was looking at it, and then I saw him unsnap his and trade it with Johnny's. And I never said anything about it because I don't think that I ever connected the pieces until this very moment.
Sometimes it just takes reflection.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't be blamed for that. Well, talk about breaking news. I mean, breaking straight from the mind of Felicity Jones here. I've been doing this 30 years. I don't really know how to respond to that.
I just don't know what to do.
Chandler,
But-
if you're watching this, seek help.
But on a lighter note, we have some information from our sponsors coming up in the next couple advertisements. And after that, we'll have a field interviewer, Keith Hudson. So, we'll see you in a moment.
Get banana, work it, banana, work it. Go alien, go alien, go alien. Wizard in the corner, doing stuff. Alien, banana, banana.
Here we are with Caleb with a few questions about his perspective on the issue. Now, Caleb, what do you think about them moving away?
More power to them. Get out of here.
And now, what are your feelings toward them, would you say?
Oof, I don't know. It's cold.
And what are you going to miss the most?
Jackson.
And what are your last words to them that you'd like to share?
Goodbye. And don't get married like 2 months in. Because I know you will, Christian.
Thank you very much.
I started as soon as you
That would
done.
be good.
I started as soon as you asked the question.
All right, on the line we have Katie Webb with us. Now, Katie, what do you think will be the biggest difference in your life after the guys have moved?
I think it'll be kind of different, you know, with them not being here. You can't really just call them up and be like, hey, I want to go get a pizza, and then wait 2 days for them to answer. But I mean, now you can just tell them that you're coming and they'll have to go get a pizza with you.
Stop talking.
Okay, now what do you think makes Pennsylvania better?
I have no idea. I've never been. What I've heard is that everyone's crazy and that they just want to eat you, but if they want to go there, go for it.
Right now. Okay, left.
So what do you think is their best quality?
I honestly can't think of one.
And so who do you think would your favorite would be if you had to choose?
It really just depends on the day, because sometimes I really like Christian more, but then other times Chandler's the winner, and then Jackson's always like pretty good, so.
Okay.
Okay, and do you have any last words for the guys?
Rest in peace, and if you must die, I love you. And I'll see you in paradise.
Okay. Luke.
All right, those are some good last words. All right, thank you very much, Katie, and back to the studio. We have some breaking news now. 3 of our dear friends are dead. To me.